We're well aware of the cruel world within the football, a truth plainly evident in the life of David Ginola. Despite possessing captivating looks and unparalleled football skills, he found himself as the most despised figure in France. And as one can say, it's the tale of two Davids. Similar to how David Beckham became hated in England, it was the same for Ginola, but what was even worse, it was the head coach who threw him under the bus. Let's take a look to this incredible yet tragic story. David Ginola was maybe the first scapegoat in football. The level of criticism he received solely because of his good looks was unbelievable, and all it took was one single mistake to carry the guilt of the whole nation on his back. Despite his remarkable football skills, some people believed he cared more about appearing in shampoo commercials than playing football. This unjustified hate affected his career significantly. The constant scrutiny and negativity made people eagerly wait for Ginola's mistakes. When he did slip up, the public condemned him, labelling him an assassin who ruined French football. This backlash practically forced him into exile, leaving France and spending the rest of his career attempting to regain trust, enduring humiliation along the way. Ironically, this pressure drove him to perform exceptionally. He even managed to defeat Manchester United's renowned treble-winning team by himself, astonishing Sir Alex Ferguson. Ginola's career started impressively. Despite being rejected by Nice for being short and skinny at 16, he debuted professionally a year later. By 18, he won the Toulon tournament with France's under-20s, earning recognition as the new generation's leader. He further proved himself by leading SC Toulon to a remarkable 5th place finish in France, surpassing Marseille and PSG, and winning the Toulon tournament again. However, Ginola's career choices weren't always wise. After achieving success, he chose Matra racing over prominent clubs like Monaco, Bordeaux or Marseille. Unfortunately, this ambitious project ended in disaster. The club faced relegation due to financial problems despite Ginola's efforts. Later, he moved to Brest instead of joining a top French club, continuing a pattern of questionable career decisions. Brest at the time was a club as unstable as Matra Racing, facing rapid ups and downs. Within 10 months of joining, despite finishing 11th, financial issues led to their relegation. The club's bankruptcy soon followed, leaving Ginola without a team. He later signed with PSG, rejecting Marseille. However, Marseille won the Champions League the next year, making his decision seem less favourable. Despite gaining PSG fans' approval, his relationship with teammate George Weah was not great. But despite their personal issues, on the field they excelled, leading PSG to a successful season, winning the French Cup and challenging for the league title. They even triumphed over Real Madrid in Europe. However, Ginola faced public backlash in France. People viewed him as vain and self-centred, envying his seamlessly effortless life, both in football and celebrity status. Despite being a dedicated footballer, the public's perception of his glamorous lifestyle overshadowed his passion for the game. Ginola's good looks became both a blessing and a curse. Fans couldn't see beyond his appearance to recognise his dedication to football. One mistake in November 1993, which might have been forgiven if done by someone else, haunted him through his career due to the public's skewed perception of him. France hadn't made it to a World Cup since 1986. To secure a spot in the 1994 World Cup, they needed at least a draw against Bulgaria. However, with the match tied at 1 goal and injury time looming, the tension was high. When Ginola won a free kick, everyone expected him to play it safe and waste time. Instead, he chose to cross the ball, leading to Bulgaria's decisive goal just seconds later. This heartbreaking loss led to France missing the World Cup for 12 years. Many blamed Ginola for the defeat, conveniently justifying their existing dislike for him. The French manager, Gérard Houllier, had a strained relationship with Ginola, accusing him of selfish play and lack of commitment to the team. Houllier didn't even start Ginola in the crucial match against Bulgaria, revealing his lack of trust. In the aftermath, rather than diffusing the situation, Houllier publicly blamed Ginola, labelling his actions as a betrayal to the team. This statement intensified the public's anger towards Ginola. The media even dubbed him the assassin of French football. Soon after, Ginola was banished from the national team, all due to one mistimed cross that led to a devastating defeat. Looking back now, Ginola's entire team was on the back foot during the crucial moment. 7 players had the chance to stop the counter-attack that led to the decisive goal. The team's desperation for a draw in the final match was due to their previous defeat against Israel. Despite Ginola's scoring and putting them ahead, the team lost in the final minute after his substitution. The outcome wasn't Ginola's fault. It was more about a talented yet mentally fragile team that quickly pointed fingers and made him a scapegoat. Ginola questioned why he was blamed for the failure of an entire country, feeling haunted by this question for the rest of his life. After the match, the manager Julio was sacked. His replacement, Amjad K, shared similar negative sentiments towards Ginola. Although Ginola's ban from the national team was partially lifted, the French public remained indifferent despite his notable achievements, including winning the French Player of the Year award and leading PSG to unprecedented success. Despite Ginola's remarkable performance, he felt like an outcast in his own country due to the lasting impact of the infamous accident. Feeling isolated, he sought opportunities abroad, notably almost joining Barcelona at the urging of Johan Cruyff. Unfortunately, due to regulatory constraints at Barcelona, the transfer didn't materialise, leaving Ginola in a disappointing situation. PSG became increasingly impatient with Ginola. Unsure of what to do, he made a surprising move like his compatriot Cantona and sought a new life in England. He rejected Arsenal and chose Newcastle, influenced by his father's admiration for Kevin Keegan. The club signed him for a modest fee of £2.5 million, which would turn out to be a remarkable deal in football history. In Newcastle, Ginola's arrival surprised his teammates who didn't know much about French football. They were amazed when they first saw him, looking like a movie star with sunglasses. But his skill on the training ground quickly proved he was more than just a footballer. He was a superstar. Newcastle, known as the Entertainers under Kevin Keegan, found in Ginola someone capable of thrilling performances. After just one pre-season match, Ginola became the talk of the city. By August's end, he was named the league's Player of the Month. 15 games into the season, Newcastle led the table by 5 points, having lost only one match, and Ginola was considered the country's best player. However, the story didn't end happily. After 6 outstanding months, Newcastle's form declined. Despite having a 12-point lead at one stage, it dwindled with every match, and Manchester United eventually clinched the title. Cantona also surpassed Ginola to win the Player of the Year award. During this time, Barcelona attempted to rectify their mistake by offering Newcastle £6 million for Ginola, but Keegan insisted that Ginola would only leave if Barcelona broke the transfer record. Ginola asked Keegan to understand his desire to join a top club like Barcelona at 29. However, Keegan refused, fearing fan backlash due to previous player sales. Then, Keegan unexpectedly left the club, leaving Ginola feeling betrayed. His replacement, Kenny Dalglish, didn't get along with him. Ginola tried for Barcelona again, but with management changes, the opportunity faded. Real Madrid showed interest, but Ginola's heart was set on Barcelona, which didn't materialise. Despite PSG's interest, going back to France didn't appeal to him, so he made a surprising move to Tottenham, then struggling in the league. While watching his former Newcastle teammates in the Champions League and France winning the World Cup without him was tough, the fan support motivated him. Even with doubts about his style under manager George Graham, Ginola had his best season at 32. He led Tottenham to a League Club trophy and UEFA Cup qualification, an extraordinary feat for an 11th place team. Winning Player of the Year was a testament to his dedication, disproving claims that he prioritised modelling over football. A year later, despite fan anger, Graham forced Ginola out. Moving to Aston Villa, he faced unfair treatment by the manager and board, criticising his fitness when it wasn't true. After a brief stint at Everton, Ginola retired at 35. His feud with Hollier persisted, with the latter even calling Ginola a bastard in his autobiography, all because of a misunderstood cross. In today's world with social media, Ginola's story might have turned out differently, possibly for the better or worse. Social media can amplify both the good and bad in football. What's striking is that none of the other players stepped forward to share the blame, and the manager chose to blame Ginola to protect himself. This speaks volumes about the situation.